Some of the strange scripture. Some of the strange passage. Book of Job, chapter 2, verse 9. The book of Job, chapter 2, and verse numero 9. Strange passage of scriptures the Spirit of God gave me to take my thought from. Amen. Job chapter 2 and verse 9 reads as follows. You know the story of Job. Job was a rich man, had a lot of riches, had a big family. And the devil came in and used situations and ripped him of everything he had. Lost his money, or what back in that day was considered money, his wealth. Lost his children. Lost everything. One day Job was rich and had plenty, and a few days later, he had nothing. Somebody said that the book of Job took place in, the story of the book of Job took place in a very few, less than a year. I'm not sure exactly the months, it's a number of months. It's not as long as it appears to be. But it says it took place in a very short period of time. But Job 2:9 reads this way. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. His wife said unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. What a statement for a wife to make to her husband. Amen. I thank God for my wife. Amen. You know, she's going home to be with the Lord. But she never told me, Julius, curse God. She never told me that. Amen. Right. Never told me that. We're living in a day and time where people, I'll start by saying this. Remember some years ago, my wife and I, we drove up on her mother's property, where she was living at the time. And one of her nephews came out of the door. The nephew said to his aunt, Auntie Lila, give me $1. Lila didn't have the money. She had the money, but it was bill money. And she said to him, baby, I don't have it. He dropped his head as if he was hurt, as if he had his heart set on something, and he saw his Auntie Lila and he thought, surely I'll get this $1 from her. I may not be able to get it from great grandma, I may not be able to get it from mama, I may not be able to get it from my sisters, I may not be able to get it from my uncles or aunts or whomever, or my brothers. But surely here come Auntie Lila. I know I'll get that $1 from her. And when she said, baby, I don't have it, he dropped his head like he was dejected. And I saw the look of disappointment on his face, and she saw it too. And even though she couldn't afford to give it to him, the smallest thing she had in her pocketbook was a $5 bill. She reached in there and she gave him that $5 bill. And I said something to her. I said, Lila, you pay tithes. I said, and God said that he'll rebuke the devourer for your sake. And I said, God does that. I said, but you can open the door for the devourer to come back in yourself. You can do that because you fall for things that people just tell you and you believe it and you just ready to give out. And you know, little a giver, little love giving. She had a giving heart. Amen. And she really wanted to help that boy. Amen. When she saw that, she went beyond herself to help out. But the point I want you to catch is that you can do what God says, and you can bring devastation, and the devourer can come into your life because of your own actions. Although God does what he says he's going to do, although God is faithful in doing what he says he's going to do, you can bring it, I can bring destruction into our lives. Right. Amen. But if God can tell me, Julius, down there is a Flint River. And if you go out there and you walk on the Flint River, I'll bless you when you get to the other side. I get in my car, I go to the Flint River, and I get out there and I walk on the Flint River like Peter did. Just walk. And I get to the other side and there is $1 million sitting right there. Amen. Money that God has blessed me for walking on the Flint River. Now I'm a millionaire. Got $1 million. I go out here and I take that $1 million and I just go to the casinos, put that money in the slot machines and play crap tables and shoot the dice and play cards, blackjack and whole 9 yards, and lose that $1 million. Now, through my actions, I have gotten rid of that $1 million. Right. I did what God said do. God said walk on the Flint. I walked on the Flint. I got to the side. There was $1 million. Like God said there would be $1 million there. I got that $1 million. Then I went and I began to gamble with it. Now, I get mad with God. God, you said, if I walk on the Flint, I'll be blessed. I walked on the Flint, God, but look at me, I don't have no money. I'm broke. I can't pay my light bill. I can't pay my rent. I can't pay the note on my car. I can't do this, and I can't do that, and I can't do the other. God, you told me something that you didn't live up to. Wait a minute. As I say, hold on, buckaroo. Was it God that caused me to be broke, or was it me that caused me to be broke? In that simple example, you can see that it was my actions. I went to the casino. I gambled the money away. I lost all the $1 million, and now I'm broke, and I can't afford anything. Job's wife said to him, and I want you to catch what she said to him. She said, do you still retain your integrity? In other words, Job, is it still worth it to be saved? Job, is it still worth it to live for God? Because you're doing what God says, but look at the end result. You have nothing. Now, as you read the story of Job, you know it was not Job's actions that caused the problem. Well, to some degree it was. But primarily it was not Job's actions that caused Job to be in that situation. Right. You read about how Satan went to God and said to him, does Job fear God for nothing? That's right. And God said to Job, have you considered my servant Job, that there's no one like him in the earth? A perfect and upright, one that fears God and escheweth evil. And then Satan asked this question, does Job serve God for nothing? That's right. Look at you, God. You have blessed him with cattle. You have blessed him with oxen. You have blessed him with land. You have blessed him with this. You have blessed him with that. You blessed him with a great family. But God, it's almost like Satan was saying to him, if you did all that for me, I'll serve you, lying devil. Because he had more than that and walked away from it. But that's another story. Job, you have nothing. You're broke. You have nothing to show for serving God. You still think it's worth it. Now, what am I saying in all of that? Because I tell sometimes I say, when I'm preaching a message, I'm like a train, the people who are silver trains. I get a boxcar from over here, and a boxcar from over there, and I get a boxcar from over there. And at the time, it may not look like they're connected together. Amen. But eventually, I'll put them together, and you'll get a train, and we'll ride down the street. So I'm putting together these boxcars because I'm trying to show you something. All right. Job, is it still worth it to serve God when you have nothing? I talked about this on last week. The king in the 73rd Psalms, he said, I look at the world. I'm paraphrasing. I look at the world. Let's put it in today's world, in today's terms. I look at the Bill Gates. I look at the Warren Buffetts. I look at the people who got billions and billions of dollars and don't serve God. I look at them, God, they don't live for you, and yet they are blessed beyond measure. They can pay all their bills. They got money. They can waste it. Bill Gates can waste $1 billion and not miss it. I can't waste $1 and miss it. Amen. If I waste $1, I'll miss it. Yeah. But Bill Gates can waste $1 billion. He can waste $10 billion, God, and never miss it. I can't waste 10 cents. Because if I waste 10 cents, I'm in trouble. So God, it looks like you are unfair. Because I've committed my life to you. I've tried to serve you. I try to live for you. And yet I'm struggling and going through all these situations. But yet, the people who don't serve you, they got it made in the shade. So God, it looks like you're unfair. So Job, it is still worth it to serve God. Is it still worth it? Is it still worth it to retain your integrity? Going back to this country, I thought about this when my daughter was praying. This country, the United States of America. I heard a story once, I read a story once, some years ago, in a book. There was some guy who was heavy in the black arts. I forget exactly what he was doing, but he was very heavy in the black arts. He was very successful in Europe, and very successful in Asia, and very successful in Africa, in his black art ways. Back in the 1940s, he got on a ship to come to America. And as he got to the borders of the United States of America, he said, what I got won't work there. Why? Because in that time, there were people who were serving God. But now look what's happened 76 years later. We go to the movies and watch Harry Potter. And we think there's nothing wrong with it. We join clubs that are anti-God. And we think there's nothing wrong with it. We go to college and we join Greek letter organizations that don't serve God and don't have nothing to do with God in their life, in the charter. And we think there's nothing wrong with it. We go into church. There are churches. Do you not know there are churches who are practicing the black arts? Soothsaying in the church. Fortune telling in the church. And thinking there's nothing wrong with it. Because their answer to Job's wife is no. It ain't worth it to serve God. It's worth it to be like the world. It's worth it to be like the people out there in the world who don't serve God because they are prospering. But look at me, I'm not prospering. I was reading to you a story some months ago. I told you about a story. I heard one of my Facebook friends wrote long drawn out story. Long drawn out story. The short of the story was that this man, he wanted to be successful as a preacher. And he went to his bishop and asked him, what could he do? And the bishop told him to go out there and basically have sex with a mermaid. And he had that, and for a while, he was prospering. But notice, in order to get that level of prosperity, he had to turn his back on God. He had to turn away from God and do things that God didn't tell him to do. Right. God had never told you to have an intercourse with a mermaid. Right. God had never told you to have intercourse with animals. Oh, I'm hitting on something there. Mm-hmm. See, God had never told you to go out here with a horse, and go out here with a donkey, and go out here with a cat and a dog, and have intercourse with those things. God has never told you that. But in America, we got people doing that. We got people having sex with animals. And thinking God is okay with that. God is not. God promised you prosperity. God promised you blessings. He blessed you. And yet, through your actions, you curse yourself. And that's what's going on in this country. That's what's going on around this world. We got people doing all kind of things that are literally disrespecting God with their lifestyle. No, they're not standing up and saying, God, you blank, the blank, the blank, the blank, the blank. They're not cursing God that way, but their lifestyle, they're cursing God. They're saying through their lifestyle, I don't want anything to do with God in my life because it's not prosperous to serve God. It's not beneficial to serve God. It's not advantageous to serve God. It's advantageous to do the things of the world and be like the world and enjoy the pleasures of the world. I'll say this to you by this church. If I preach what they preach, amen, I wouldn't have the room. Wouldn't have the room. People come in here because I promised them a blessing plan. Or I promised them that they can live like they want to live and do what they want to do and act like they want to act and expect God to honor that. Amen. Church be overflowing. But I'll be out of the will of God. Yeah. I'd rather have nobody and be in the will of God. I think a song about Vicki Wilder sang a song. I think it's Vicki Wilder who sang this song. She said, "I'd rather live in His world and not have Him than not have Him live in mine." Amen. I'd rather be for God and have God against me. I'd rather be holy and have God smile on me than to say, "Julius, I don't have anything to do with you because you have deserted what I told you to do." Don't want that. All right, get back the message. Get back the message. Is it advantageous to serve God in the midst of this world? I heard a story the other day on the radio. I was coming from work. Sort of broke my heart. In North Carolina. North Carolina is sort of being in the center of this transgender fight. The state is opposed to it. The state has said, no, we're not going to do that. I told you about a few months back how even in Georgia, the sports people, the movie theater people, all the rich people told Georgia, if you sign that law into effect, told our governor, if you sign that law in effect that deny transgender rights in Georgia, we're going to pull out. And our governor bowed to that. And we're not signed. He vetoed the law. And the law basically said to me as a preacher, if a person comes through that door and say they're homosexual, will you marry me? I can say no to them. Nothing wrong with that. I can say no to two heterosexual people who come through that door and I don't think they're worthy of getting married. I can tell them no. It's not that I'm discriminating against a homosexual in favor of a heterosexual. It's the fact that I don't feel like they should get married. Right. But the governor said, you got to do that because of money. Now, back to North Carolina. North Carolina is in the center of this fight. And then where they're saying, no, we're not going to do that. The big wheels, the big power people said, we pull it out. We're not going to have anything to do with North Carolina anymore. Now they're teaching in North Carolina schools. In Charlotte, North Carolina. Teaching the kids. Don't say boy or girl. Because they say, when you say that's a boy or that's a girl, you are discriminating against them. What kind of mess is that?
Help, Lord.
What kind of mess is that? Telling little innocent children, confusing little innocent children
Lord, help.
about gender, about the difference between a boy and a girl. Amen. It's all part of a plan. It's all part of a purpose that the devil is hatching to bring wickedness and evil and destruction of God in this country.
Jesus.
But people in the church, this is what broke my heart. People in the church embrace that.
Jesus.
Saying, yeah, it's okay to teach the little girls they're not girls and little boys they're not boys. Or if they're not a girl and they're not a boy, then what are they?
Tell me.
I'm confused.
Yes, Lord.
Because to me, as they say, old saying is, if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
It's a duck.
Amen. If I look at a child and I see things that belong to a boy on that child, it's a boy. It's a boy. If I look at a child and I see things on that child that look like a girl, it's a girl. And I'm not confused about that. But I'm confused when you tell me to tell that boy he's not a boy. I'm confused when you tell me to tell that girl she's not a girl. And now you want God to bless you. And you give us and may God bless America.
Help us, Lord.
It doesn't correlate. It doesn't fit together. It doesn't jive. You cannot do what you want to do and expect God to bless you. I told this church several weeks ago, in the book of Deuteronomy, there are 65 verses in that scripture. 14 of them had to do with the blessing. 51 of them had to do with the cursing. And I used to wonder, why did God put 51 verses in that scripture to talk about curses and only 14 talk about blessings? Yes. And this morning, as I was thinking about this message, he dropped my spirit. I'm trying to tell them, don't go with the curse. It's not advantageous to go toward the curse. Yes. Because he put that over emphasis on the curse. To show us that the curse ain't nothing to play with. Right. That the curse is nothing that we want to walk in. That the curse is nothing that we want to be a part of. That the curse is nothing that we want to have a part of our country.
Right.
But yet, we go toward the curse instead of the blessing. And so we're saying to Job's wife, no, girl. It ain't worth my salvation. I just said it right. It's not worth me serving God. Because I can be like the world and enjoy prosperity. I can be like the world and have everything I need. And I have no struggles, and I have no pains, and I have no problems. Lemuel said in the third song, he said, with the church. He said, when I got there, I understood their end. I understood the destiny. That they're going down on slippery paths. And they don't even realize they're on slippery paths. But now notice he got that revelation in the church. But in some of these churches today, he couldn't get that revelation. Because some of these churches are just like the world. You go in there and they playing rock music like the world play rock music. They got the strobe lights, like the world has the strobe lights. They got the things of the world in the church. And God has not been magnified in a lot of churches. A lot of churches. So he wouldn't have got that revelation in some of these churches today. Why? Because in those churches, they're thinking it's okay to go along with that. It's okay to embrace. I told you, amen, few months back, right here in that city of Albany, Georgia. Right after the Supreme Court, I must use this word, interfered in government, in something business they had no business interfering with. It is not the right of the Supreme Court to tell me to marry somebody or not marry somebody. That's not their business. That is not their business. So they interfered in something that they shouldn't interfere with and said that you got to accept everybody, homosexual or not. And one of the pastors in this city, what we call the Good Life City, Albany, Georgia, got on the news and said, I'm just waiting on the orders to come down from our headquarters because I'm ready to marry them. How can we expect God to bless us and prosper us when we choose to disobey Him? We choose to disobey Him. And now we're getting mad with God and don't have anything to do with God because now we don't have what God promised us. That's my illustration about me walking on the water, finding $1 million and going to Las Vegas. And I gambled away. God prospered this country for 200 some years. This country, like I said in the 40s, the guy said, what I got won't work in that country. He's had amazing success in Europe, in Asia, Africa. When he got on the shores of the United States, he said, it won't work here. And now we are embracing the stuff. And we think there's nothing wrong with it. We don't think there's nothing wrong with going on the telephone and dialing 1-900 Saki and getting a Saki reading. We don't think there's nothing wrong with going in the newspaper and looking at the horoscope and reading the horoscope and think there's nothing wrong with when God said those things are cursed. And God said, suffer not a wish to live. Now you said, preacher, are you telling us to kill witches? No. I'm not telling you to kill witches. But I am saying this. When it comes down to your spiritual development, when it comes down to your advancement in God, separate yourself from that. You should not be embracing that. If God doesn't like it, why would you like it? If God doesn't love it, why would you love it? Job, do you still retain your integrity? Yes, you said, curse God and die. And the world is following that path. And I understand the world because they don't have Jesus. They don't have him in their life. So they're doing what the world's supposed to do. I was telling earlier, I said how that the people get upset with the haters. And I said, the haters are doing what the haters are supposed to do. Well, the world is doing what the world is supposed to do. They're not saved. They don't have the light. They don't have the truth of God's word. They don't have the revelation of God's word. So they're walking in darkness because that's what they're in. They're in darkness. They don't. When you're in darkness, you can't see right.
That's right.
And because you're in darkness. So they're in darkness, they can't see right. But here we go to church, right behind them. Following right behind them. The light following the darkness. And Jesus said, as Paul says in the book of Corinthians, what fellowship have light with darkness? And yet we are fellowshipping with them. Because it looks like what they're doing is working. It's looking like what they're doing is working. And the church is following right behind. And they know the church is not saying God thee. They're not saying that. They're not saying blank to blank to blank to God with their mouth. But their heart is saying, God, I curse you. I don't want nothing to do with you, God. Yes, I have the word church in my name. I have the word Christian in my name. But God, you are not my God. You're not my God because you promised me if I serve you, you will bless me. And I look at myself and I'm not blessed. And like I preached one time, I talked about how Jesus in that book of Luke saw that fig tree. It looked beautiful. It looked full of green, full of greenery. It looked all attractive. When he got close upon it and looked at did a close inspection to it, he found no fruit. He found no fruit. And I'm not knocking big churches. I know there are preachers who do knock big churches. I don't knock big churches. Amen. I think the church needs big church to get the world, get more sinners into it. Amen. I think we need bigger places. We need Coliseum type business to get the world into it. And I really believe that. So I'm not knocking big churches. But what good to have a big church? Can I say that? What good is to have a big church and God is not there? Have people say, oh yeah, you got the biggest church in the country. Biggest church on the East Coast, biggest church on the West Coast, biggest church in the North, biggest church in the South. You got the biggest church. You got 10, 20, 30,000 members. What good is that? And God is not welcome. I remember at church I came up here, we were taught, amen, to have every Wednesday night, I thought on Wednesday night, I think it was on Friday night or vice versa. We had what we call Mr. Training Night. And I preached a message. And I pulled my keys out and I said, these are my keys to my house, in my car, and some other places I got to get into. These are my keys. And if I take these keys and I go to the door, this is my car key, and I stick it in the car key and turn it, the door should open. That's right. When I put it in the ignition, stick it in there, turn it, I expect the car to crank. Why? Because this is the key that's designed to crank my car. And I said this to him, I said, we're talking to the world. I said, Jesus don't even have keys to his own church. Don't even have keys to his own church. In the 3rd chapter of Revelation, he says, I stand at the door and knock. Think about that. The God who created everything, the man who died for the sins of the people behind the door, knocking. Because he doesn't have keys to his own church. And he's not welcome in his own church. He paid the price for the church. He died for the church. But he's not welcome in most churches today. So he's knocking. Let me into my house. Let me into my church. Let me into what I thought. Let me into it. And they're saying, you are not wanted here. Curse God, Job's wife said to him, and died. And Job said in the 10th verse, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What shall we receive good at the hand of God? And shall we not receive evil? And I like this phrase. In all this did not Job sin with his lips. Job said, yeah. It's still worth me retaining my integrity. It's still worth me serving God. It's still worth me being there for God, being faithful to God. It's still worth it. Yes, we have faced this momentary setback. We have faced this momentary financial crisis. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know why things are happening to me. I don't know why I lost the oxen. I don't know why I lost the donkeys. I don't know why I lost my kids. I don't understand all of that. I don't understand why all that happened to me. But yet, it's still worth it. That's right. It's still worth it. Because it's not about the material things. It's about him. It's about making it to be with him. To hear him say, servant, well done. That you're going through the fire. You're going through the trials. You're going through the tribulations. You're going through the things that you're going through with. And you're making it to the end. He says, well done. Welcome in. That's right. Job said, yes. It's still worth it. So I ask you, church world, I ask you, saint of God, is it still worth it to you to serve God? Is it still worth it to you to live holy? Is it still worth it to you to be what God wants you to be? And I'm not pointing at Tanya, I'm pointing at the camera. Amen. Is it still worth it to you? And since we started this church, on occasion I've come back to politics. And there is no exception. Men are going to vote here in November. In the second week in November, on the second Tuesday in November. We're going to vote for somebody. And I said this on last Sunday, and it bears repeating. I want to talk to black folks. Amen. I want to talk to black folks. I tell people I'm not Democrat, nor am I Republican. One lady who's a Democratic person said, well, are you independent? I said to her, no, I'm not independent. What are you? I'm a child of God. Don't talk to black folks. It applies to whites and everybody else, but don't talk to black folks. I wrote one time on Facebook, when you have automatically decided that you don't care who it is that's running for president, if they got a D behind their name, meaning they're a Democrat, you're going to vote for them. And you've already decided if they got an R behind their name, you're not going to vote for them because they're Republican. I said this on Facebook, and I'll repeat it to you here. What is there to make either party do something for you? I don't have to do anything for you. If I'm a Democrat, you're going to vote for me no matter what I do. I'm just a Democrat. You're going to vote for me. So I ain't got to give you anything because you're going to vote for me anyway. I'm a Republican. I'm not going to do anything for you because you don't appreciate what I do. So what reason is there for me to vote, for me to do something for you because you have already preconceived in your mind you're going to vote Democrat? You've already perceived that. And it doesn't matter what comes out in the news. You're going to vote Democrat because they're Democrat. It doesn't matter to you that the Democrat in 2008 or 2012, I forget which years, took God out of that platform. It doesn't matter to you that they did that. It doesn't matter to you that they took, and they are the ones who say it's okay to be homosexual. It doesn't matter to you that they have said it's okay to live a lifestyle that God's word doesn't bless. It doesn't matter to you because they're a Democrat, you're going to vote for them. But you don't realize that what you're doing is you're turning God against you. I'm not knocking Democrats or Republicans. I've said it plenty of times. I don't trust Hillary. I don't trust Trump. I don't trust either one of them. To me, they're both liars. To me, they're both messed up. I wish we could go back to 2014 all over again and get a whole new crop of people for choices. I really do. The two choices we got, Hillary and Trump, I don't trust either one of them. I sort of wish a third party person would win. It's not that I'm against Hillary, and it's not that I'm in favor of Trump, or I'm against Trump and I'm in favor of Hillary. That's not the point. The point is, you've already made your mind up. And because you've already made your mind up, there is no reason why they got to give you anything, because a Democrat will get your vote no matter what. And Republicans say they don't care, so I ain't going to do anything for them. So what's the point of helping them when they don't want my help? Or what's the point of me asking for help because I already got it? So I'll leave it like we are. Unemployment in the last 8 years. And I say this with much regret in my heart. Regret in my heart. Unemployment under black Democrat president has skyrocketed among blacks. We got more blacks on food stamps. We got more blacks losing out everywhere we turn. under a black Democrat president. But it don't matter to you. It's a Democrat. And even though the ones who run for Democratic, the Democratic nominee is saying, I'm going to do just what he did. It don't matter to you because she's a Democrat. Like I said, I'm not knocking her. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I would not do that. If you want to know who to vote for, do like I do. Go to God and ask God who you want you to vote for. If God tells me to vote for Hillary, I'll vote for Hillary. If God tells me to vote for Donald, I'll vote for Donald. If God tells me to vote for Mickey Mouse, I'll vote for Mickey Mouse. You go to God and find from God who He wants you to vote for. So I'm not telling you who to vote for. I want you to think. I want you to think. If you already have preconceived in your mind that you're going to vote a particular party, there is no reason why either party has got to look to you for help, to offer help, and provide help to you. And so you're saying, I vote the Democrats because they give me things. What reason is there for them to give you the thing when you've already said you're going to vote for them? Every election, going back since the 60s, 90% of us, 90%, over 90% of us have voted Democrat. So they know they got us in the hip power. They ain't worried about office or anything. Just make us some loose promises and never keep them. Every presidential cycle, make us some loose promises that they never keep, and we keep on voting for them without thinking. Once again, I'm not telling you not to vote Democrat. I am not telling you not to vote Republican. I'm not telling you to vote Democrat or Republican. I'm saying think, pray, ask God to give you some common sense on who to vote for. Some wisdom, not common sense, wisdom on who to vote for. That's all I'm saying. And I know that when I put this on Facebook, some folks may not like what I'm about to say, what I say, because they can't look past the fact that I'm trying to get you the reason in your heart. Go to God and get God's answer on who to vote for. They're going to say, oh, he ain't got a Republican. He's Uncle Tom. No. And first of all, go learn your history. Uncle Tom was not what you call Senator Uncle Tom. He was not like you thought he was. But that's another story. What I want you to understand, black people, and I say it because you are my people, use wisdom. Go to God. Ask God. And don't have a situation, amen, where they automatically know that they're going to get your vote. So they really ain't got to do anything for you. And the other group ain't got to worry about you because you ain't going to vote for them that way. So where that leaves you at? Still struggling. I should say, it's not just you, because I'm part of that same boat. Where that leaves us at? Still struggling. Still disrespected. Yes, sir, I'll say that. Yes, I will. Yes, sir. Look at me. I'm a little brown, but I'm black. I'm not Caucasian. I'm not Asian. I'm not Australian. I'm trying to think of the continents. I'm none of those. I am what we traditionally call African American. I don't like that term because I'm American. I now big step one foot in Africa, but that's another story. I'm black. Every application I fill out, I write on the application, black or African American, because I'm black. Right here in the streets of Albany, Georgia, twice, I've had this happen to me. It was years ago, in the 70s. I'm walking down the street, minding my own business, pulled over by a white police officer. I'm in a black neighborhood, walking down the streets, pulled over by a white police officer, and it says to me, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" It's racial discrimination. I felt like it was then, and still feel like it worth it now. But this is what God told me to tell you. I believe that all lives matter. That doesn't mean I don't think black lives matter, because they do. Everybody's lives matter. And because I say all black, all lives matter, doesn't mean I'm excluding one group. I know our struggles. I know our struggles. I was a part of it. I lived in the part of the Jim Crow age. I know the struggles of black men. I know what it's like when I got on the bus. I was 10 years old and got on the bus. And my aunt tells me, says, now here's where you sit on this bus. As a white man come back beyond this line and tell you to get up, you got to get up and move. I know it's like to go into the doctor's office and see the signs of the water that says black, or colored only, and white only. I know what it's like. I know it's like to have to go into the back of the restaurant. I know. I live a part of it. I know our struggles. I know what we came through with. So I'm not denying black lives don't matter, because they do matter. Our lives matter. But I also believe all lives matter. And that don't mean I'm excluding you or myself because I say it. It just simply means that I know that as a preacher of the gospel, I can't be concerned with just one group. Because even though I'm black, and even though I am American, I am first of all a child of God. I am an ambassador with Christ. I'm an ambassador for Christ. I don't represent Julius. I don't work for Julius. I don't have a say-so. Just like our ambassadors who are in these different countries, they don't have a say-so. I don't have a say-so. I work for God and Son. He tells me to say, I say it. All lives matter. Not just black lives. And that doesn't mean I deny black lives matter. Amen. Because I just told you I went through the struggles. If I hadn't told you, you probably think, well, he never struggled like that. Oh, yes, I did. I went through it. I remember as a boy, in the town I grew up in, I'm very close. I remember as a boy in the town I grew up in, every year we have a fair in that town. And I'd be petrified over the fair. Wanted to go there and enjoy myself. But I couldn't, because my aunts would tell me, you be careful going to that fair, because the KKK is out there and they don't like black folks. You be careful. And so I'm walking around and still enjoying myself at the fair. I'm looking at every white person thinking, is that a KKK person? That person they're part of the KKK? I know the struggles. I know. Firsthand. Ain't this something I read about in the history books? Walking down the street, minding my own business. In my town, growing up, Mom sent me downtown. We didn't have a car. Sent me downtown to buy some groceries. White person come along. And I'm not trying to be precious. I'm just saying some things to help you understand where I'm coming from. I'm walking down the street. A white person, just for the devil in him, just take that car and dart out at me and make me jump in the ditch just so they can laugh at me. I know the struggles. I know what it's like when my aunt had to get on the telephone when we integrated, because I blinked my eyes. I got weak muscles in my eyes blink. And she had to get on the telephone and call the school and say, look, my nephew's coming to school there. He's blinking his eyes. He has a problem in his eyes. But I want you to know, so when you see him blinking his eyes, he's not blinking at the white girls, because she didn't want me to get killed. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I'm saying something here my children never heard me say. But all lives matter. Including that is the black lives, the red lives, the brown lives, the yellow lives, and the white lives. All lives matter. I'm not excluding one group over the other. And please, ma'am, and please, sir, stop thinking I'm discriminating against my own people when I say all lives matter. I had one person tell me, said, if you were not a preacher, I'll cuss you out because you said that. That was ignorance on her part. because she didn't understand what I went through. I lived in the racial South. I was born up north, but I lived my life in the racial South. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like. So all lives matter, not just black lives. Give God a hand clap for the word. Amen. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus.